Welcome to the Dental Team Podcast. I'm your host, Kiera Dent, and I have this crazy idea that maybe I could combine a doctor and a team member's perspective because let's face it, dentistry can be a challenging profession with those two perspectives. I've been a dental assistant, treatment coordinator, scheduler, biller, office manager, regional manager, practice owner, and I have a team of traveling consultants where we have traveled to over 165 different offices coaching teams. Yep, we don't just understand you, we are you. Our mission is to positively impact the world of dental, and I believe that this podcast is the greatest way I can help elevate teams, grow VIP experiences, reduce stress, and create A-teams. Welcome to the Dental Team Podcast. Hello, Dental Team listeners. This is Kiera and you guys. All right. Today's a super fun podcast because I just love to do things like this. So today is April 20th, and April 20th happens to be Dr. Mark Kostas' birthday. So I was thinking of what I wanted to do for Mark's birthday this year. He's the man that has everything. Granted, with that said, he is also the man that can be bribed with a lot of gifts. Get him a good podcasting backpack. You're friends for life. So as I was thinking about what I could do, I decided, I'm actually going to do a podcast for Mark that's going to be a shout out to Mark. And of course, it's Dental Team Podcast. So I'm going to give you some tangible nuggets throughout this podcast as well for you. But I really thought it'd be fun to do a tribute to Mark Kostas. He is one of my dearest friends. And you guys, without Mark, this Dental Team Podcast may never have been created. So if you guys don't know, Mark and I met it's been about 3 years ago. My good friend, Justin Schmidt, you guys have heard him on the podcast. Justin brought me to a mastermind that Mark was running. It was in January of 2017, 3 years ago. There we go. 2017 in Dallas. And that was where I first met Mark. And when Mark and I met, we literally talked for about 10 minutes at the place. I remember we geeked out and he asked me what my favorite software was. And I said, I'm a total Dentrix guru. So Dentrix is my favorite one. And this is right when Open Dental was starting to kind of be a name in the industry. Sorry, Open Dental, maybe you were, I just hadn't heard about you. So, and don't worry, I'm usually last to the party on knowing the no. But Mark and I had chatted about that. And then, I convinced Mark to, I was invited to go to the karaoke bar. I was like, I got to go talk to this guy. And then 2 days later, I think it was 2 days, it might have even been the next day, Mark called me, asked me if I wanted to work with him. And here we are 3 years later. So with that said, Mark is one of my dearest friends. Mark is somebody that I really admire. He's an incredible leader. And so today's podcast is going to be, yes, a tribute to Mark, a happy birthday to Mark, also helping you guys see how in other mentors, we choose their best characteristics and we try and emulate that in our own personal lives. So that's what I do with Mark. Mark is truly somebody that has so much goodness to him. And that's why I wanted to do a happy birthday to Mark Kostas and a way for you guys to look at yourselves. One, for mentors, who are the mentors in your life? And two, looking to see what characteristics that Mark possesses that you could incorporate as a leader as well. So first and foremost, I think Mark is one of the most generous, giving people I've ever met. Mark is somebody who will literally give you anything and everything he can. And something that Mark taught me early on in my career, which I'm so grateful that he did this for me, is he really helped me realize that I need to just give so much to the world and not be afraid of somebody ripping me off. That sounds funny, but so often, docs, you might be scared to share with your neighboring dentist some of the ideas that you're working on. And maybe some of the marketing strategies. Now, yes, there is strategy in not sharing with your opponent all your winning strategies. However, Mark Kostas is one of those people that I believe genuinely just gives every ounce that he possibly can. And I love that because he told me, he said, Kiera, be prepared that people will rip you off. You guys, it's true. It has happened. People have ripped my podcast, said that they were their own. They've ripped content that I've made and claimed it as their own. And shoot, that's a rough go. I hope that I've never done that. I mean, I've got to watch myself as well, that I try hard to build my own content, not looking at other people's things. And I appreciate Mark saying that because one, it kept me in the right mindset of instead of being so scared and holding back and not wanting to give to other people, to just unleash the power and to share whatever I possibly could. And Mark is so good at this, guys. I mean, listen to his podcast, listen to who he is. He will literally tell you everything possible And that's something that I would say for all of you is look to see how can you add more value to the people around you, and to give and to be okay that even if someone rips off your ideas or somebody takes advantage of you, that at the end of the day, you're the magic sauce. And that's what he told me. He said, Kiera, people could take everything you do. You're the magic sauce, and focus on that. Focus on how Kiera delivers, on how Kiera produces content, on how Kiera delivers these things, because you're the magic sauce. It's not the content. Anybody could come up with how to do a morning huddle. Anybody could come up with how to track case acceptance. Like, that's just part of being in dentistry. It's how Kiera delivers it that really creates the magic. So for all of you in leadership, look to see, how are you giving back? How are you giving other people ideas? Are you looking to see how are you the magic sauce? Share with other people. I believe that there is a circle of goodness that just keeps funneling more and more goodness when you live your life this way. And it's something I'm so grateful that Mark taught me. So that's lesson number 1 of Mark Kostas. Number 2, something else I really admire about Mark is the life of the party, guys. When Mark shows up, it is fun, and he brings so much fun and energy and excitement when he comes. I mean, he and I think we became great friends because we both are complete and total dorks, and we have so much fun being that way. I mean, you see us at events and we just will start giggling about the dumbest things. I mean, for example, Mark told me, we're so dumb. It's so funny. Mark told me that he didn't care for the raisins in a trail mix pack. So what do I naturally do? Me and all the coaches at this big event, we go and we get a bunch of trail mix packets and we empty them all out, pick out all the raisins and stick them in a packet. And I went over to Mark and I said, hey, I got you a trail mix. And he's like, oh, thanks. I'm so hungry. And dumps. And they're just straight raisins. And he looks at me and he's like, Kiera. And I just started laughing so hard. And what I love about Mark is Mark just brings fun. Mark definitely will pull pranks on me. He loves to bring energy and excitement to the party. And so what I'd say to you guys as leaders are, what are you bringing to the party every day at work? Are you bringing high energy? Are you bringing that positive outlook? I mean, Mark, he'll put quotes on that are motivating and inspiring. And my question to you leaders, because we're going to spin it to you, this is a great story about Mark. I want to spin it to you as well. Are you bringing that energy to the office? Are you giving that positive outlook? Are you focused on where you want to be going? Are you constantly improving yourself? Those are things that Mark does that I just love and appreciate him for as a person. So for all of you leaders out there, look to see what energy do you bring to the office? What energy are you bringing to your patients? What types of things are you putting off? Because that is what they're going to remember you for. And I love that Mark does this. Hello, Dental A Team listeners. This is Kiera, and you guys, right now is the time to get your operations manual done. I just did a podcast, Operations Manual 2.0. Be sure to listen to that. And if you're like me, sometimes that task can feel daunting, which is why the coaching team, the Dental A Team coaching team, put together, you got it, Wednesday workshop for the next 4 weeks, starting on April 15th. We'll be running these at 12 p.m. Pacific, Wednesday workshop, where we're getting your operations manual done. We're taking you through step by step to ensure within 4 weeks, you actually get that operations manual done with accountability, with traction, and with ease. So be sure to join us. It's free for all. So there is no reason you shouldn't join us and get that operations manual done. Wednesday workshops, every Wednesday starting on April 15th, running through May 6th at 12 p.m. Pacific time. Pop on over to thedentalateam.com/strategy to join our webinar series. Can't wait to see you guys there on Workshop Wednesday. Another thing that Mark does really, really well is Mark is constantly improving himself. Since I've met him, I think he's gone through 2 or 3 different coaches. He will also, he's reading up on the latest health fad. He's reading up on how to improve his relationship. I will say Mark started working with this female coach, and golly, her name's Karen Brody. And Mark has become a way nicer boss. He's become a way nicer partner. And he says this because he works with so many females. But I love that Mark recognizes his shortcomings and where he wants to improve, and then he goes after it and finds a way to become masterful in that area. And I think as a leader, that's really a huge, admirable trait, is to reach out and to be looking for ways that you can improve yourself, to be looking for ways that you can be growing to the next level. I think because Mark does that, the people around him oftentimes, not always, are also wanting to grow and improve. You guys, Mark introduced me to the world of podcasting. It sounds so embarrassing to admit because now I have a podcast. I didn't really know what podcasting was. When I talked to Mark the first time, I didn't know he had the Dentalpreneur podcast. I didn't know any of those things about him. And I love that Mark constantly grows and improves himself. And because of that, I wanted to start podcasting. I wanted to start listening in. I wanted to start meeting people that could make me better. I wondered, what coach do I need? And I started assessing myself. And Mark does with Alistair, they do the four areas of your life: your mind, meaning, movement, and mind, meaning, money, movement. Whoa, the 4 M's. There we go. So your mind, your meaning, your movement, and your mind, money, movement, meaning. Gosh, guys, struggling on that one. Sorry. Mind, money, movement, meaning in life. And I love that Mark looks at all 4 of those quadrants of his life continually. He has us do it every quarter. And I appreciate him so much because this has helped me to identify where I need to improve as well. So I really appreciate Mark for that. So you guys, Mark, yes. Does he have his flaws? 100%. Does he have his bad days? 100%. Have I seen him out of character? Yes, I have. Would I say that I appreciate Mark as a mentor in my life? Absolutely. And I think that that's the important thing to realize. Something I love about Mark is I have seen him fail. I have seen him not be at his best. I have seen him say things that he regrets because Mark became human for me. Mark became somebody that I really could mentor after because I knew he was human. I knew that he was willing to make mistakes and be the first one who would admit he was wrong and he'd find a way to fix it. Something else I really admire about Mark is there is no obstacle too hard for him. And I love that. He and I have that same mindset of there's always a solution. There's always a way to improve there. There's always something that we can do. We just need to find it. And Mark and I think we were siblings in another life because we definitely rival with each other of content and of our ideas. And I love that he will challenge me and he'll push me to be a better version of myself. I think you guys make sure you mix and mingle with people that do that, whether it's on podcasts. I mean, Mark is a mentor to several that I'm sure have never met him. Tony Robbins has been a mentor to me, you guys. Yes, I did get to meet Tony Robbins. So cool. I even hugged him. He doesn't even know who I am. He doesn't even know I exist. But for me, he had been a mentor from afar for years. And that's something that I really admire. I remember when I met Mark the first time, I realized he's just a human and he doesn't try to be better than he really is. And so I think for all of us, like, happy birthday to Mark Kostas. So as your guys' action items today, number 1, go freaking wish Mark Kostas a happy birthday. Go post on his timeline. Go give him, he always likes the bones in his emojis. So, go tell Mark happy birthday because Mark is such an incredible person and I have so much to be grateful for to Mark. Second thing, look at Mark's leadership characteristics that I listed off. Mark is giving more value than he ever expects in return because he realizes it's the magic sauce. And so what are you doing to give more value to those around you? And are you afraid to give those ideas out? If so, see if you can get beyond that because there's a circle of happiness that just keeps flowing to you outside of that. The second thing is, what kind of energy are you bringing into the party? What do you bring every single day? Mark is the life of the party. He's a ton of fun. The third thing I mentioned was that Mark is always striving to improve himself, to make himself something better, and looking for those areas in his life where he is weak and then taking action because there's always a solution. Something else that I didn't mention is that Mark is very loyal. And it's something I really respect and admire in him. Sometimes loyal to a fault. There have been some rough business deals, but I do appreciate that Mark he's got your back. And I know he's got my back. And yes, I did not know for a while that Mark had my back and maybe he didn't feel the same way about me. And so knowing that I know in Mark that Mark has my back 110%. I know when he goes somewhere, he will back me and he will always speak well of me. Even if he's frustrated with me, I know he'll come bring it to me. And that's something I really respect in Mark. So I'd ask you guys as leaders, are you loyal to your team? Does your team know when there's a rough patient coming in? That you're going to back them up and you're on their team. And even if they were in the wrong, you're going to talk to them in private, that your team knows that you're loyal to them. They know that you've got their back, that you want what's best for them at the end of the day. Something I really respect in Mark and something that he's taught me a lot. I remember he told me, he said, Kiera, probably the number one trait I I admire the most is loyalty. And I've thought about that a lot. And I've thought about that's a really big trait to have. I mean, Mark has his employees forever, guys, and he's not afraid to have those hard conversations. You guys have probably heard him and me say, Mark's phrase is the number of uncomfortable conversations you're willing to have is directly proportional to your success in life. And I've added happiness, your success and happiness in life. And that's something that I really respect in Mark. So for you guys, take that, look at your lives. And also, do you have a mentor? Do you have somebody that you really admire and get them in your circle of friends? Proximity is power, you guys. So if you want to be like someone, bring them into your circle, whether it's from afar or close. I mean, shoot, there's a lot of podcasts out there of some amazing mentors that if you want to be like them, they possess the traits you have. No, Mark does not have every trait that I want to possess, guys. He doesn't. I do not want to be a rockin' awesome bodybuilder. Granted, I want to have incredible skin like he does when I'm his age as well. So with that said, I mean, you're not going to want to be everything of every mentor. Take what you really love about that person and apply it to your life. I had an awesome mentor in my life, Dr. Smith. And he told me, he said, Kiera, every person I meet in my life is better than me in some way. My job is to figure out what it is and then apply that to my life to become even better. So I'd say for you guys, choose one of these things and apply it to your life. How can you be a little bit better? So go wish Mark Kostas a happy birthday. And Mark, from me personally, thank you for being one of my dearest friends. Thank you for seeing me that day at the mastermind and inviting me into DSI and into your world and helping me. You gave me a platform and the support to become who I've become today. And I appreciate that so much. I appreciate the way we can joke and laugh and have such a fun friendship, and for your guidance that you've given me. Today's your birthday. And from all of us at the Dental A Team family, including myself, happy birthday to you, Mark Kostas. I am so truly grateful for you and the impact you've had on my life and of so many other people's lives. So for all of you Dental A Team listeners, thank you. And remember, do some shout outs to your teams. Be loyal to them. Love them. Give more value than they ever could imagine from you, and to your patients too. Be the good in the world, you guys. That's what I think. So for all of you, thank you guys so much. Happy birthday to you, Dr. Mark Kostas. And for all of you Dental A Team listeners, thank you. Thanks for listening. And I'll catch you next time on the Dental A Team podcast. And that wraps it up for another episode of the Dental A Team podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.